it's a tremendous fight, and I've always said from day one, Canelo has improved massively as a fighter, but you go back to the times when he boxed Ryan Rhodes and Matthew Hatton, look back at that fight now and think what a great fight he gave him. And if there's a fighter out there who's got the capability of beating Canelo, it's Billy Joe Saunders. The only thing is that Canelo's been very consistent over the last 2 years, where Billy's been a bit sporadic. And he had 2 good fights with me, Monroe and Lemieux, and I said to him from that point, listen, I said, if you're going to fight the big names, from this point you've got to build on this. You've got to be consistent. You've got to keep on your weight. You've got to live, breathe and it's, sleep, eat and breathe boxing. And he's had injuries, he's had pull-outs, he's been inactive. It's hard when you've had that kind of stop-start couple of years, really, to probably bring your best out. But the thing is with Billy gets up for the big fights. When the pressure's on him and his back's really up against the wall, that's when he pulls it out of the bag. So it'll be interesting to see how this fight goes. I think it's going to be a close fight. If the best version of Billy Joe Saunders turns up, which I think he will do, I think he'll give Canelo a hard night. Whether he gets the decision over in America with the momentum that Canelo's got, and we've seen as with Golovkin when he went out there, people thought he got gifted fights or he should never beat Golovkin or whatever. You're up against that as well. So Billy's really up against it, but it's not beyond his capabilities to beat Canelo. It isn't at all. He's got the moves, he's got the boxing brain, and he's got the style to beat him.
What does Billy Joe need to do to win that fight?
Bring a shotgun with him. Listen, Billy Joe, as we know, people forget is a quality fighter, quality Olympian. Some will say his inactivity has damaged him. He's a 2-weight world champion. But when Billy Joe, the pressure's on, he can perform and abroad, as we've seen the move, although it was a few years ago. But he knows now, and we've been in that venue, the AT&T when Liam Smith fought in there. He's not going to experience anything like it, that ring walk. That ring walk has got to be unbelievable. That noise in that arena has got to be unbelievable. It's how he conducts himself, how he holds his composure, how he holds his nerve. He's got a good trainer in Mark Tibbs, who'd relish that. Very similar. Mark Tibbs would relish that. Let's go and show these now. And I think early on, Billy Joe, with his movement, counter punch and everything else, it's when Canelo decides to, right, I've had enough of you running around me. I'm going to try and come and get you. A bit like swatting a fly. He's got to come to the newspaper and try and swat Billy Joe. It's whether he can swat him or not remains to be seen. Great
stuff. Well, Joe, I'll let you get on.
He can't stand in front of Canelo. You can't stand in front of Canelo. He'll beat you all day long. Billy Joe Saunders has got that style. Has definitely got the style. If we look at Canelo's fights when he has struggled, they've always been boxers. They've always been movers. Someone who doesn't stand in front of him. And Billy Joe Saunders has got that in abundance. He's really has got great movement. Speaking to the guys from the Ingle gym when Billy Joe Saunders was down there, they said no one's seen the best of Billy Joe Saunders yet, and I do believe that. And what a lot of people are forgetting, what no one's really saying about this fight, Canelo, by the time this fight comes round, Canelo will have had 3 fights in 5 months. That's 3 camps. Now, the fights haven't been hard. He beat Callum Smith pretty convincingly. Yildirim. He beat Yildirim, obviously got rid of him. But it's not the fights, it's the camps. Now, his camps won't be easy. I'm telling you now, the sparring won't be easy. He will be having top quality sparring. Will the camps be a factor in this fight? Is it, your body can only take so much, yes, because of who he is. He will have had the top nutritionist, the top strength and conditioning coach. His trainer is one of the best coaches in the world today. But he's only human, and your body will automatically start shutting down when it's being pushed to its maximum capacity of training in training camps. So will that be a factor? I mean, I'm not saying it will be, but I just think no one's picked that up. I think it's been It's 3 camps in 5 months is a lot for anybody, any standard. So, but yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting.
We've always said that Canelo struggles against movers, and that's what Billy Joe does. He's on the outside, he's picking with a jab in the backhand, and he hits his toes again.
Who do you fancy in that fight?
It all depends who gets. I mean, you've seen Billy Joe have a camp like no other. It looks like he's really trained his nuts off for this. Left no stone unturned, and I mean, we're still 2 weeks out, and he looks like he could fight tomorrow, which is good and something we've not really seen of Billy Joe. You know what I mean? So excited for it as a fan. I think you've got to favour Canelo. I know Billy Joe's a 2-weight champion, but Canelo's gone up through junior middle up to light heavy. Sorry, and I think he's proved it time and time again. But it's going to be tough for him. Billy Joe's a mover. He's a smart fighter, and he's undefeated. He don't know how to lose.
Mentally, he's just there. Do you know what I mean? He's in the best shape of his life. I mean, you can see that from the photos. Whenever I was out in Spain, which was probably 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago, he was in the best shape then, best shape that he's ever been in. He was only 6-7 kilo over then, which you never see from Billy Joe. So I think mentally he's in the right place, physically he's in the right place, and he's given his all to knowing that he has to go out there and perform, and he's left no stone unturned. I think he's Canelo's worst nightmare. If you look at the Alexander Lara fight, I thought, I'm a massive fan of Canelo. Like I've watched him throughout the years. So if you look at that fight, I personally thought he lost it by 3 rounds. If you look at the Mayweather fight, anyone who's a good boxer, you look at the Austin Trout fight was very close, another southpaw. So I feel like Billy Joe has the ability and the awkwardness and stuff to give him trouble. Listen, it's not going to be an easy fight for Billy Joe, but in no way is it going to be an easy fight for Canelo Alvarez either. But if Canelo goes out and beats Billy Joe convincingly, he just proves to everyone how good he is, because I feel like Billy Joe's the one to beat him. And if not, then I don't think there's going to be anyone that beats Canelo Alvarez.